What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Today we are going back to our God Roll guides for seasonal weapons of the Season of the Deep with the Strand Shotgun here in Until its return. This goes in our Kinetic slot, is a rapid fire frame, so a 140 RPM, same as the Decide, the Ikelos, or something inside the Basso Ostinato, so definitely shoots a little bit faster. So for the PvE realm, definitely is a lot better than PvP, just because it doesn't hit that hard unless you got like 6 bullets and you can just go clear out an entire point in Crucible. But definitely way better shotguns in some of those aggressive frames, etc., that just feel way better inside a Crucible. But PvE, I'm giving this thing like a good 4.7, 4.8. Now, before we get into the god rolls for this bad boy right here, definitely excited we have a Strand Shotgun first off for that synergy, and let's go over its origin trait in Unsated. Hunger, increase handling, reload, and stability when no abilities are fully charged. So we're gonna gain that nice little bit of all of those stats when we're throwing our abilities all willy-nilly like inside of the PvE realm. With ability regen, doesn't happen as often, but it is still a nice little perk when we're running low on everything, and we're gonna get that nice quick reload. Now, when we move on to the PvP realm, we have our range as our masterwork, trying to get that as high as it can with that 55, as you can see in the right hand corner. Now, in our first column, again, going small bore, you could go something like full choke, which definitely helps with the projectile spread when aiming down sights, but you do lose a little bit of range, so that is totally a personal preference. Now, for me, definitely going with accurized rounds for that range, allowing us to have that 55. Now, in our third column, I think your best option is threat detector, increased reload stability and handling when enemies are in close proximity. Crucible basically always happening when you're getting those shotgun defeats. You could throw on something like steady hand, but that requires you to get a defeat beforehand, when this is going to be procced at all times when you have those enemies in close proximity. So for me, definitely my god roll for PvP is going to be that threat detector. Now, in our fourth column, we have two options. Wasn't really sure where to go with this. Definitely one of the reasons it also slacks in Crucible, besides having that less powerful hit compared to Mindbenders, Fractithesis, something like that. But we do have Adrenaline Junkie, so we get weapon damage and handling on final blows from grenades, so it might be good with something like Ahamkara Spine, Strip Mines, or from this weapon. So if we get a defeat with it, we're going to get that damage bonus. Or you could go with Vorpal Weapon if you wanted to specifically target those guardians in their supers, but with this Adrenaline Junkie, figured it gets procced a little bit more often, especially, like I said, with lightning grenades on Titan, Ahamkara Spine, trip grenades on your Hunter, something like that. Contraverse holds and overloading those vortex grenades on your Warlock. There is various options, so this thing has potential in PvP, but like I said, inside of PvE, definitely way better, like a 4.8, 4.7 out of 5 for PvE. Then I'm giving it about a 3 for PvP, just because there is way better guns, like I said, Mindbenders, Fractithesis, stuff like that, that absolutely slaps. Now, as you can see in the right hand corner, we got all of those stats, with the reload being stacked up to 81, allowing this thing to put out some crazy damage, especially with the perks that it has in our third and fourth column. But first off, I'm personally going with that rapid fire frame for reload. Even though it is 81, I do think this is nice. You could go something like range to help you out without having to get super close close up to those bosses, but with some of our perks in our third and fourth column, I just felt like reload was right. In the first column for the barrel small bore for that increased range and stability, giving us +7 in both of those categories. Once again, just felt right for me for the PvE realm. In the next column, definitely going with Tactical Mag, gives us stability, magazine size, and reload speed. So definitely the jack of all trades, and better than something like Extended Mag that absolutely tanks our reload speed. So magazine, definitely go with Tac Mag for PvE. Now, one of the reasons why I think this is so good in the PvE realm is this third column. We have a couple different options that I really like. First up is auto-loading holster, so we can put out all 8 of those shots, switch to another weapon, restun the champion, whatever it may be. Let this reload, then also juice all 8 of those bullets again for some nice DPS. You could also go with overflow because you can get that nice insane like 15-16 shots in this, and then actually just annihilate basically any type of enemy, especially depending on your fourth column perk. But this is also a very viable option, as well as threat detector, so you have increased reload, stability, and handling when enemies are in close procs. So this will be super nice when there's a bunch of those enemies that you have to ad clear, creating tangles, whatever it may be. This also has unraveling rounds that can come with it because of that Strand Synergy, so it is kind of crazy for the ad clear potential as well. Obviously these will all be enhanced perks once I get them unlocked, but definitely would go with auto loading first, then overflow, then probably threat detector for PvE. Now, in the fourth column, got a couple different options as well. I went with Trench Barrel. After a successful melee hit, this weapon gains increased damage, handling, and reload speed for a short duration or until 3 shots are fired. So something like your Bonk Hammered Titan, which the gameplay is from, has this Trench Barrel up basically consistently. We can throw our Bonk Hammer, shoot 3 shots, throw our Bonk Hammer, shoot 3 more shots. Lost Sector, Legendary, we were absolutely wiping out everything. Even those champions, it only took us about 6 shots and a hammer to get through them instead of having to continuously shoot them with our Thunderlord, something like that. So Trench Barrel feels very nice. We also have the option of collective action. Now this gives us that nice little bit of damage when we collect Fire Sprite, Void Breaches, Stasis Shards, Ionic Traces, Strand Tangles. So the options are pretty endless and doesn't make this specifically towards just Strand Synergy. We can have that nice damage from collecting all of those. So if you're using like your Arc Hunter with Assassin's Cowl, Liar's Handshake, something like that, getting all of those Ionic Traces, you can get this to proc as well and do some nice damage, but that also works with Trench Barrel obviously. And then we do have Vorpal Weapon, which is going to give us that nice damage for bosses, vehicles, guardians in their super. So this is another viable option, especially with auto loading. You're going to have that nice 15% increase right here on this weapon because of Vorpal, so very good for that damage aspect as well. So thank you guys for that support. Like I said, make sure if you don't want to miss any of these gun guides as well as builds for this season and in the future, hit that subscribe and bell button so you don't miss any of it. Join up on the community, join the Discord. We like to help people through those dungeons, raids, etc. Just having fun inside a Crucible. So hopefully y'all can hit that up and enjoy this weapon once you get your 5 red borders. Very good shotgun in the Kinetic slot for PvE specifically. So thank you guys so much for that support. Truly appreciate all y'all. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.